What's going on YouTube? Kenny Gaines back here again. So today we got Ireland AM, Ireland's #1 TV show of all time. So today we got Bowe confronts Taoiseach Leo Varadkar on housing support in Ireland. This is the budget 2023. We discussed this in my last Chill Car Chats podcast, guys, so go check that one out and let's get it, man.
I mean, we're seeing pictures of students camping out beside the road, beside universities in Dublin and in Galway. Like, it actually makes me think of Philly McMahon, the Dublin footballer we had on yesterday. His brother died homeless. He said there's 10,000 people who are homeless or in emergency accommodation at the minute. 3,700 of them are children. It's frightening. And when we think of the windfall taxes that are coming into this country, I think of my own kids, the pressures we have, and they have a roof over their heads.
Tell them, Tommy Bowe.
You know, is this like with your government?
Tell them, Tommy.
There's 3,700 children without a home, and there's more people going to fall into this,
roasting them
because they can't afford rent.
Well, we don't know that's going to be the case. You know, I hope we'll see homelessness falling again over the course of the year. It was falling for quite some time, started going up again. You know, I think everyone understands that homelessness is a lot more complex than just building houses or money. There's lots of other factors.
When it comes to children, and to think that they don't have a fixed roof over their head, where does that, in a country like this?
Well, the solution is more supply. And in the past 12 months, 25,000 new homes have been built in Ireland. That's more than any year in 10 years. But we're catching up on a period when very few homes were built. One thing I didn't know until yesterday, and I was really heartened to hear it, in the past year, 15,000 people bought their first home for the first time. That's the highest in 15 years. Now, that's not enough. You know, it should be 20, it should be 25, it should be 30. But some of those things, you know, are starting to go in the right direction. It's not all bad.
And you're right, and we are building
It's
more
not all bad, but there's like, he just said there's 3,000 kids on the street, guys. That's pretty terrible.
homes for the first time in a very long time. But we did see just a couple of weeks ago, Bank of Ireland are tightening their rules in how they are going to lend, how they're going to give out mortgages. And, you know, that's a greater sign of what's happening economically, globally.
That means there's a recession on the way, guys. So good luck buying your houses, guys. 700,000. Bro, as Tate said, man, you work in Starbucks, G. How are you going to buy a house? Come on.
Yeah, I do think. And when it comes to it, for single people, it's almost impossible for some single people to get a mortgage with the prices. And we hear about the squeeze middle. But when it comes to single people in this country, it does feel like they are the forgotten generation, because they are a hugely growing population and they can easily just pick up and emigrate. Just go, do you know what, there's nothing here for me. Do we forget about single people too much?
Well, it's definitely harder for single people to get by. You know, I lived alone for 14 years, thankfully with a good income, but you know, you have to bear all the costs of running a house on your own without being able to share.
And every budget day, it's, you know, families, it's two kids and all this.
But we are doing things to help. Now, bear in mind, you know, that was always true and will always be true. It's always going to be harder for a single person to run a house.
It's going to be harder for a single person to run a house, but like, most people in this country are single, guys, right? Especially if they're getting a house or accommodation. I don't know.
And when you have 2 or 3 incomes coming in, and it's true in other countries as well. But there are ways we can help. One of the things we've brought in, one of the things we extended in the budget is the Help to Buy scheme. You can get 30,000 euros worth of back taxes to put towards your deposit. And also we've a new programme that's only come in the last few months. It's very popular. It's called First Home. So say you can get a mortgage for 250, but the house costs 320. The government will help bridge the difference. And the income limits are different for a single person to a couple. We've actually designed that in a way where it favours single people, reflecting the fact that it's harder to get by when you've only one income coming into the house.
You've extended the Help to Buy. You haven't exactly helped it. And for people who've already built a house, they're obviously, they've got that built at the minute. But the fact that you put this brick levy on as well is going to add extra price onto it, because that's a new one that kind of snuck in under the radar, that, you know, we want to build more houses, but everybody's going to have to pay more money to build the bricks.
So it's a 10-cent levy on concrete blocks to help with the micro and redress scheme.
We do anticipate it will have a marginal impact on the cost of construction. That is the downside,
which is already huge.
Marginal, bro.
You know, we've got thousands of families in Donegal and other parts of Ireland affected by mica. We're going to have tens of thousands of people.
That's not for everyone to pay for, is it?
Well, unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Things have to be paid for, so you have to socialise the cost of these things. You know, if you didn't pay for it out of a levy on the construction industry, which is how it's being paid, you'd have to pay for it through increasing taxes on people, for example. So we've decided the fairest is not ideal, but the fairest way of paying for the repairs of the mica homes, and also a lot of apartments around the country that are going to need help from government to be repaired. that we decided the least worst way of doing that is a levy on the construction industry.
Like the crisis that in Ireland that is housing. You've been in government for 11 years. Do you put all the blame? Can the government take a lot of this blame, or do you put the blame on external factors?
There's lots of different reasons why we have
I don't think he's going to blame himself on this one, guys. Somehow, I doubt that people will blame themselves on this.
a housing crisis. Just look north of the border where we're not in government. House prices are up 20%. Homelessness is 20,000. So
But
we
it's a
see these
shortage
things
here at the moment.
Yeah,
This has been going on a long time.
I think it's the government's responsibility to fix the housing crisis, and that's what we're working on. And happy to go into some of the things we're doing to make that happen. The causes date back to a long time ago. They date back to the crash when the banks collapsed and the construction industry collapsed, and we've never really recovered since then. We were building 80,000 houses a year at one point. That industry collapsed. The banks which financed them also collapsed, and only now we're back up to 25,000. And there's lots of other factors at play. We've a massively growing population.
From 80,000
5.2 million people
to
now.
25,000 as well, yeah.
So we used to be building 80,000 houses a year, and we're only up. This was like back in 2008, guys. Now we're only still at 25,000 houses per year. And immigration, everything, guys, is crazy. Immigration, sorry, coming into Ireland is gonna be crazy, guys. Like that, the whole housing crisis is completely crazy. That's probably one of the craziest things in Ireland, guys. I remember like overseas, like whatever Canada, and American stuff. I know a lot of people now through friends and stuff like that they all have houses as single people. It's incredible to see everyone. They're wooden houses, whatever. They do the job. Pretty phenomenal. Here we want to build like these big, massive houses, and we always have to charge a lot for them. That's kind of what's gonna boil down to. Maybe people should be looking into building more cheaper homes in Ireland. That'd be one solution. Definitely if you're homeless, I think a mobile home or one of those kind of mobile homes, in those units or whatever, like caravan homes would definitely be good if you're homeless. They should probably build like more of those kind of trailer parks, I guess you call them, but have them a bit more posh than that, I guess. That would definitely help you guys. Leave in the comments down below how you guys would solve the housing crisis. Here at County Gains, guys, we're solving housing crisis. We're going crazy, guys, with everything. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.